All right. DStyleBoxing here. Thanks to those joining me live and to those that will be joining me on archive. Boy, oh boy, do I got a gem. Okay, another gem. These gems, they don't stop. They just don't stop. Remember that dude that got where the cops and broke into his house where he kept saying that it just don't stop, man. It just don't stop. That's how I feel about these breakdowns. They just don't stop. Now, there's a thing called telling on yourself, and it's going to happen in this video, all right? So first of all, before I play the clip, this is not for the audience, but for, disputing purposes, if I ever have to. The clip I'm going to play, I'm going to give commentary about it, all right? So fair use. That's all I got to say. All right, so anyway, let's play the clip, and then we'll talk about it, all right? We'll play it, and we'll talk about it. Now, who's this? This is, if I butcher the name, I do apologize, but Idris Elba. All right? Okay, let's hear what he's got to say.
So a huge boxing fan. Obviously, we are on this show as well. In August, we're going to be heading to see Mayweather McGregor. Do you think there's any chance Conor McGregor even lands a punch on Floyd?
Oh, listen, man, I'm going to tell you something a little controversial. In my opinion, I think that McGregor has a really good chance of winning that fight.
Really?
And here's why. I know it's controversial, but listen, I have a kickboxing background. The agility of kickboxers in MMA is very different from a boxer, okay? And I think what's going to happen is that, Floyd is going to, and I love Floyd, he's a friend. He's gonna fight his fight, but I think McGregor is gonna topple that. He's gonna topple his composure. He's gonna throw some things around that Floyd's not gonna be used to. And the other thing about McGregor, he can strike really, really, really quickly out of nowhere. Where I think, if Floyd does what he does normally, which is just hold a tight fight, I think McGregor's gonna topple that, strike him. If he gets one on his chin, it could be over. Not a lot of people agree with me, but I just know kickboxers move differently.
Now that's a hot take.
They do, but when I've seen I remember as a kid, ESPN used to have kickboxing on a lot, and they'd have at least a North American championship. I think sometimes world championship, as I recall, going back to the 80s. And I remember they used to have to enforce a rule where kickboxers, you had to throw at least 5 kicks in a round or you'd be penalized. And that suggests to me that against a boxer, a kickboxer's at a disadvantage, or you wouldn't need a rule saying, hey, no, you have to kick. In other words, you become vulnerable against a boxer when you pick your feet off the ground. And Floyd is one of the best boxers who ever did it, and McGregor hasn't had a fight since he was an amateur. How many years ago?
Yeah, but, listen, McGregor's not going to go in there and try and box Floyd. He's going to fight Floyd. That's a different sort of thing altogether. MMA is mixed martial arts. So McGregor's not just a kickboxer. He has the agility of so many different, disciplines, which is what I think is going to be a disadvantage for Floyd. Floyd's going to try and box Colin. Colin's going to fight Floyd. I'm telling you, I think what's going to happen is Floyd's going to end up taking off his gloves and landing one on him, really.
Let me transition to a real boxing match. September 16th, Triple G, Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez. First of all, in England, how receptive are they to that mega fight, particularly when we just saw Joshua Anthony go up against Vladimir Klitschko, and we saw how great that fight was in that area. How big is this fight with Triple G and Canelo in England, and who do you have winning that one?
Good question. I think everyone's looking forward to that fight. I was talking to the guy that I used to train with yesterday. He's looking forward to that fight, then he's looking forward to McGregor's fight. But I think Triple G's got this one personally. That's my personal opinion. And by the way, I don't know enough about the two of them to speak intelligently. But
wait, what? So I was going to stop it, but since I had heard that part, I wanted to play it because it's very telling. That's called telling on yourself, all right? The guy's being introduced as this big boxing fan, right? That's what the girl said. You're known as a big boxing fan, right? Like, oh my God, you love boxing so much. And he says, oh, I love boxing and all this, right? They asked him about Triple G versus Golovkin, right? I'm sorry, what did I just say that? They asked him about Golovkin versus Canelo, right? Triple G versus Canelo. And he says, I got Golovkin. I mean, but, by the way, I don't know much about these two guys, but you don't know much about them. I thought you're a big boxing guy. Canelo was one of Floyd's opponents. If you don't know anything about Canelo, how are you in any way, shape, or form qualified to assess Floyd's performances in the ring and what he does in the ring? And if you listen carefully, well, that's that break. Let's talk about that breakdown. Okay, this breakdown. But first of all, okay, first he says, look, he says, you know, he believes Conor has a shot to win this fight. He has an excellent shot to win. Okay, so explain it to us. How? Right? He starts talking about the agility of kickboxers, right? Now, first of all, Conor McGregor is not a world-class kickboxer. Okay, that's number one. Okay, this right out the bat, and I've done a video about that. But whether he is or whether you believe he has the ability to, he's never had a professional kickboxing fight. He hasn't. Okay, so we have to be real about that, right? But anyway, I did look up this guy a little bit, and he even mentioned it, right? He said, I have a background in kickboxing. He talks about how the agility of kickboxers is just so much different than those in boxing, and basically saying, look, kickboxers, agility is just a whole nother level. Boxers just can't compete against it, right? And then he takes it a step further when Max mentions about like what the kickboxers. Not entirely sure what Max's point was about. Do kickboxers get penalized? They don't do so many kicks in a round. I didn't even know that. Like that's okay. Maybe the kickboxing he saw. I don't know. Right? But anyway, he just basically said, well, isn't that going to put him at a disadvantage because Floyd's a boxer and, you know, Conor's not? He said, no, not at all. There is some serious reverse logic going on here. It's unbelievable. Right? Now let's go further. Right? Let's go further. That's like his opinion, man. Like that's cool. But if you think about it, there's no breakdown. This is a common theme. They don't break it down. Right? He says if Floyd, you know, he's used to fighting, you know, like what did he say? Like it's like tight or something like that. And then he says, well, Floyd's gonna box. Conor's not gonna box him. Conor's gonna fight him. Yeah, that sounds nice. Well, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Like what? At the end of it's Marcus of Queensberry rules. At the end of the day, well, what does that fucking mean? Right? Is he gonna fight him like Margarito style? Like, what does that mean? Right? No. Well, you know, are you saying he's gonna brawl him? Like he's just gonna throw defense out the window and just go like, what does that mean? Like he's not gonna box the boxer. He's gonna fight differently, the way MMA fighters fight. What does that mean? Like it's just it's stupid. Like it's a Brandon Schaub mentality, and it's reverse logic. Okay, it's not logical. Like what does that mean? Like oh, he can't kick, he can't throw knees, he can't go for takedowns, he can't do any of that. What does it mean? Like oh, he's gonna use the MMA stance. What? Why? Like why would he do that? That's fucking stupid. I mean, now he didn't say this, but you heard it. You heard the breakdown. And again, like he said, well, Conor has the ability to get you out of nowhere. Like, you know, I mean, I guess that's a little better than, you know, than like Nally's breakdown, I guess. At least he didn't say Conor's going to put both hands behind his back and just let Floyd hit him. But notice, Nally did it. This individual did it. Okay, nothing against the guy. He doesn't know anything about boxing. I'm sorry. Okay. He was asked about Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo by Stephen A. Smith. And even Stephen A. Smith doesn't know that much, but he knows more than this guy. But he didn't know any. He himself said, I don't know enough about these guys. He doesn't know anything about Canelo. The only time he probably saw Canelo fight was when he fought Floyd, right? Now, with that said, okay, I mean, this is insane. What's wrong with people? Now, what reverse logic, D-Style? What are you talking about, D-Style? D-Style, but you don't understand. Shut the fuck up. Listen to me, all right? This guy's doing it. Nally's doing it. A lot of casual fans are doing it, okay? These people believe, like, they're kind of putting boxing in like like it's the AAA of the Major League Baseball, okay? It's kind of like Major League Baseball, the MLB is MMA, and then the league right under that is like kickboxing or something like that, or Muay Thai, and then below that it's boxing, right? Like if you're not good enough to make it to kickboxing, you just stay in boxing. If you're not good enough to make it out of kickboxing, you stay in MMA. That's the way they see it, right? That's basically in their minds the way they see it. I mean, this shit is insane. It's fucking crazy, and this shit has to stop. Like it's got to stop one way or another. Okay. The rules of boxing are the rules of boxing. It's had the same fucking rules for over 100 years. It's not like, hey man, you're not making the cut in MMA. You couldn't quite make the UFC, but go try boxing. It's a little easier. Go do that. You could be a world champion over there. I mean that's how they're making it seem. That's how they're making it sound. Because you could do more stuff in one sport. Because more stuff is allowed, well, it's harder, right? Now, we could sit here and debate all day on what's harder, what's not. I personally believe it's an individual thing. I really do believe that, right? It depends on the individual, right? But let me make this very clear, okay? Very clear. Just because the guy's a mixed martial artist doesn't mean, and he happens to box, doesn't mean he's boxing at the level of a professional boxer, right? Just because the guy's a mixed martial artist and he's doing Muay Thai, it doesn't mean, okay, that he's fighting at the level of top Muay Thai fighters. It doesn't mean that, right? And that's just point blank, period. Now, all these other things Conor has learned because of MMA are irrelevant in this fucking fight. When are people going to get this through their freaking heads? When are they going to get it through their heads? Like, holy shit, these breakdowns. Holy shit. Are you shitting me? I can't take this no more. This is fucking, my head's going to explode. I didn't know this many people were this ignorant about boxing. Like, I thought, yeah, people know about boxing. Come on. They just don't watch it because it's corrupt and they don't get the fights they want to see. Like, I didn't think that boxing, and let me tell you something, man. Boxing has failed. I mean, horribly. This is boxing commentators, people that cover boxing, okay, the fucking us as boxing fans, all right, the freaking commentators, as I said, on TV, the people that talk boxing, like the fucking Skip Baylesses and Stephen A. Smiths and all these idiots on fucking mainstream sports television, they have utterly failed boxing and covering boxing and understanding boxing. Just utterly failed. This shit's absolutely insane. It's insane. How do we go from, okay, how is this possible? How do we go from Muhammad Ali is the greatest athlete ever, right, who's a boxer, to, these boxers, it's just, it's tough, but compared to MMA, I mean, these guys, I mean, they're fighting with pillows. I mean, how do we go from point A to point Z? How does this happen? How does this happen? We have Nally over there telling people that an MMA fighter can't get knocked out in boxing because, hey, they kick and grapple and throw elbows. So they can't get knocked out by a punch. which is the most ignorant thing anybody could fucking say. All right? It's just the most ignorant thing. It's fucking ignorant. It doesn't get more ignorant than that. And for those that, oh, he didn't say that. He said that. He, in many ways, insinuated it and even flat out said it. Okay? He said it's basically a pillow fight compared to what he does in MMA. That's what he said. That is an utterly ignorant statement. That's ignorant as shit. All right, that's fucking ignorant. The same with Skip Bayless. The same, you know, I have two explanations for this too. One, I think it's a mixture of both. I think people are very ignorant about boxing. That's number one. Okay, they're just ignorant altogether. So they don't understand. You know, when Floyd fights, they don't understand how good his opponents are. That's number one, and they don't understand how hard it is to just knock anybody out at that high level in boxing. Okay. It's you know, it's now Floyd's not known as a knockout artist in the boxing realm. All right, I get that, right? But especially not since he moved up like anywhere north of 140. Everybody understands that, right? But this idea that, you know, it's a pillow fight, and this is fucking insane. Okay, so I think it's a mixture of complete ignorance and just a disdain that people have for Floyd Mayweather. Right? It's a mixture of both. Because let me tell you this right now. If this was Conor McGregor versus Manny Pacquiao, all right, would there still be ignorant people saying some of the stuff that this guy said, like, oh, well, he does more. He knows more stuff. So, you know, he's not going to come in and box Pacquiao. He's going to come in from an MMA angle. Like, it's just like some stupid shit like that. Yeah. But would they be saying the whole pillow thing? I doubt it. I really doubt they would be saying that Manny Pacquiao doesn't hit hard, even though Pacquiao hasn't knocked anybody out in how fucking long, right? They wouldn't be, you know, calling it pillow punt, getting hit by pillows, right? They just wouldn't be referring it to that, okay? And that's just the reality. I honestly believe that. Like, if you know, it's a perception people have, okay? It's Nally said it's like a. It's just like playing tag. Like, what? All right, like it's just like it's a game of. He kind of insinuated it, but he basically talked about it like it's a fucking game of tag. Like, you're it. Like that's not the way. Like, what? Are you kidding me? These are punches thrown by professional fighters, the best punchers in all of combat sports. What are you talking about? This is extremely ignorant, man. The ignorance coming out of people's, mouths is unbelievable. It's utterly unbelievable. It's I almost can't believe it. Like, that's how crazy it is. You know, it's almost every celebrity is saying, well, I don't know. I mean, Conor, he knows so many things. Like, what does all the Brazilian jiu-jitsu training that Conor did and any judo that he did, or practicing kicks and takedowns and takedown defense, and what does that have to do with the boxing fight? Nothing. It's irrelevant. It's fucking irrelevant. No, but DStyle, I mean, it shows, how versatile he is. It doesn't show how versatile he is in a boxing ring, right? Just because he knows, just because he practices different disciplines, okay, doesn't mean that like he's mastered the discipline of boxing. But that's not what that means. That's not what that means at all. So what? Just because Conor does everything doesn't mean that Conor could go to to Thailand and just whoop everybody's ass in Muay Thai? Was that what that means, or what? Does it mean that Conor just right now, could just go to, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament and dominate because he knows all these other things? It doesn't mean that at all, does it? So what the fuck is all this, right? And in the case of boxing, I mean, it's not even close. So for for people saying that like this is very serious right now, right? Anybody saying that and it's logical to say, right? Well, if Floyd loses his fight, well, that makes Floyd look bad, not the sport, right? Well, that's logical to say, but people are not logical. You know what I mean? This is going to confirm their way of thinking, right? This is going to confirm it right here. If Floyd were to lose, I don't think he's going to lose, but if he were to lose, this would confirm it right here. Like I told you, like it's insane. But what are you going to do? Like, you know what I mean? This is the thinking people have, and that's why I'm glad the fight's happening. I still feel it's a circus. I still feel the same. As a boxing fan, I feel that. Okay, I don't believe that this fight's necessary, but the fact that people are questioning boxing at such ignorant levels like this, I mean, this is fucking ignorant shit. Pillow fighting. People have fucking more people die in a boxing ring than in MMA. Okay, that's just a fucking fact. In fact, isn't that what they were always arguing when they were trying to legalize MMA and they were calling it too dangerous? Remember Joe Rogan and Dana White and all these people like saying, no, boxing's a dangerous sport. I mean, in MMA, remember Joe Rogan said this. He said, in MMA, you have options. In boxing, if you're getting your brain beaten in, okay, you don't have any other option. That's the only way you could defend yourself. In MMA, you could grab them. You could get them against a cage. You could take them down. Okay, you could start throwing kicks. You could do different things, right? Okay, everything was, well, boxing is more dangerous. Legalize MMA, right? When you start telling MMA fans that the sport's too dangerous, they'll immediately, all of a sudden, boxing turns into the most dangerous sport in the world. All of a sudden, right? Oh, people die in boxing all the time. Look at the brain damage. Look at the injuries sustained, right? But that's aside. Okay, guys are forced to retire because they fuck up their retinas or the fucking they fuck up orbital bones, right? Go tell Rosado that those are fucking pillows when freaking Gennady Golovkin busted up his orbital bone with a fucking jab. All right? Go tell, okay, that Russian, I believe he was Russian. I forgot his name and I apologize. Okay? But that Russian guy that got beat up on HBO, right, and was in a fucking coma, right? And I don't even know, I haven't really checked up on that. Okay? But it was a very serious, condition. Like, go tell that to the guys that fucking died in the ring. Go tell them. Okay? That Korean fighter that died in the ring is Boom Boom Mancini. Go tell them and their family that this is a fucking pillow fight. Right? This isn't a game. This isn't a pillow fight. Right? That's not what this is. And some of you need to let go of that hatred that you have for Floyd Mayweather, right? Because it's clouding your vision in many ways. Because I'm even hearing boxing fans say things like, "Oh, Floyd can't hurt Conor." Like it's of course he could hurt him, right? In fact, if you go down the line, right? Pacquiao, he hurt Pacquiao. He hurt Pacquiao a couple times, right? And if you want to go over the rounds, we go over it. Okay, he fucking stunned Cotto towards the end of their fight with an uppercut. All right, we can, and these are professional boxers. Okay, these are high-level, highly skilled boxers that have been doing this in their fucking teens. Okay, some of them before their fucking teens. These are the best of the best. All right, so spare me this shit. All right. This isn't a game, right? No, Nelly, this isn't pity patting with gloves, okay? Oh, they're just love tapping each other for 12 rounds. That's what boxing is, right? People have a very skewed vision on boxing, man. One moment, oh, boxing's dangerous. Legalize MMA. Why is, boxing is way more dangerous. Look, and then they pull out the statistics of how many people die in boxing, and the long-term damage that the boxers sustain, and it's and then but when you're talking about an MMA fighter transitioning into boxing, it's easy, for an MMA guy to go to boxing. It's they do boxing too. Oh yeah, go tell it to Mike Perry, okay? Yeah, I'm gonna keep referring to this Mike Perry thing because if all this was true, there's no reason Mike Perry would have gotten knocked out in a boxing fight by a dude ranked 150th in the world, okay? It just wouldn't have happened, right? It just wouldn't happen. Go look it up. It's on my channel. You can go there. Just look it up. Anyway, in many ways, right, boxing doing a terrible job promoting itself and all that is to blame for a lot of this ignorance. It just is, right? Boxing losing a lot of fans over the years has a lot to blame for this as well. Okay, and that's just the truth. But it's especially after a 12-round boxing fight, man. Especially if you ever watch these documentaries of fighters, okay, that have died in the ring, or we don't even have to get that serious. We don't even have to talk about deaths, right? But if you just any 10-rounder, 8-rounder, okay, when dudes start fucking pissing blood and shit, it is a brutal sport, right? Their faces get fucking swelled up and shit like after the fight. I mean, this is not a fucking game. And the people saying this ignorant shit have never been punched in the face by a 10-ounce glove. It just hasn't happened, okay? Now, with that said, and now that I've gone through that, and since I mentioned glove, Floyd Mayweather Jr. on his Instagram, okay, recently posted, right? I'll get to the comments in a little bit, but Floyd Mayweather Jr. went on his Instagram and said, don't believe the media and don't believe the hype and blah, 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 right? Don't believe this, don't believe that. He said he's going to wear, Grant gloves. And he said that Conor McGregor could wear any types of gloves that he wants. Right? It's the way it should be. But he also says that he's willing to fight with 8-ounce gloves. Now, a lot of Mayweather fans are jumping on this, right? Great. This comes from the guy who believes Conor has no fucking shot, by the way, right? I just want to disclose that. But do you expect me to believe that that's really not in the contract, Floyd? Like, we already know that you didn't let Maidana use his gloves of choice, okay? Like, we have you on camera, okay? You paid Maidana $1.5 million so he can't wear any type of boxing glove with horsehair, made out of horsehair, right? That's just the facts. He paid Maidana $1.5 million so he doesn't wear those gloves, okay? So that's just the reality. Right? So spare me. And there's just no reason Conor McGregor or his team or Dana White or just anyone in general will come out and just make up a story that he wasn't allowed to wear gloves made out of horsehair, okay, couldn't wear gloves made out of Mexico or anything like that. You're not fooling anybody, right? Now, should they fight with 8-ounce gloves? I think they should. Fight with 8-ounce gloves. Why not? Well, why the fuck not? It's because, and let me tell you why. I don't want any fucking excuses. I don't want nothing, no excuses whatsoever. Right? None. Let him wear 8-ounce gloves. Let him wear whatever fucking types of gloves he wants. All right? it's the right thing to do, right? And to be 100% honest with you, it's fucking weak sauce. It's the most weak sauce move ever. If you are imposing the types of gloves Conor McGregor can wear, right? It's weak sauce. Like, this is your sport. You're representing boxing, right? And for you to tell another fighter that's never had a pro fight, oh, you got to wear these types of gloves. I don't care if somebody says, well, he's the A side and blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's weak sauce, right? I mean, it's not like you're facing Gennady Golovkin, so you're imposing some strict rules on the gloves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in that, I would still disagree with it, but I would understand, you know? Like, I would be against it, but I would understand at that point. To be 100% honest with you, I doubt the commissions would ever sanction this, but I you know, if they could do 6-ounce gloves, I'd be for that too. So, to be honest with you, I'd be all for that too. Right? But you know, Mayweather's out there saying, you know, now, according to him, right, you know, he's saying they can do it with 8-ounce gloves. This is all I know. This is all I know, okay? The truth is going to come out. It's going to come out. Now, it is possible that Conor's team is okay with the 10-ounce gloves. That is entirely possible, okay? But if the day of glove selecting comes, okay, and you start bitching and moaning about the type of boxing glove that's approved by the commission, right? Because the commission has to approve the gloves that are on the table before the fighters select them. If Floyd Mayweather starts bitching and complaining about the type of glove Conor McGregor is going to fucking wear, I swear to fucking God, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. That's going to look fucking weak, right? So it's just, I don't want excuses. Let him wear. It's the right thing to do. Let him wear whatever fucking gloves he wants to wear. Okay, as long as they're, you know, legal gloves and approved by the commission that boxers fight with, why not? And you want to do it at 8-ounce? Let's do it 8 fucking ounce. Okay, I don't even know why 154 pounders fight with 10-ounce gloves. To be honest with you, the fact that junior middleweights, okay, are fighting with the same size gloves that heavyweights fight with is fucking insane to me. That's fucking insane. Right? Now, it's not that big of a difference like people think it is, but that slight difference in a 12-round fight makes a slight, you know, it can make the, you know, it can make a difference, right? So anyway, good, Floyd. Okay, you want to fight? You're saying let's do 8-ounce gloves? I mean, it's a lot of talk when the contract's already signed, you know, but, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see if McGregor obliges. If McGregor doesn't say anything, then it doesn't matter, right? But I am saying that I'm being objective. I'm keeping it real, right? And that's it. Like, if I was, okay, in Conor's corner, number one, I would be telling him, dude, you ain't gonna win. But if I was in Conor's corner, okay, all bullshit aside, if he doesn't have any hand problems, and I don't believe he does, okay, I would honestly tell him to wear horsehair gloves, the MX gloves or the Clitoris. That's what I would tell Conor McGregor to wear. Okay, he's gonna fucking lose anyway, but I would tell him to use those gloves, right? And those are the puncher's glove. Okay, this is a guy that has at best a puncher's chance. You got to wear a puncher's glove, right? That's what I would tell him. I would have him wear the fucking glove. I would press on it and be like, look at where your fucking knuckle is, right? You land this shit clean. It's harder to land it clean with those gloves. It's harder. But when you do land it clean, okay, it has equal or more impact than a fucking MMA glove, those puncher's gloves, okay? So that's what I would tell him, right? So come on. He's coming over to boxing. He has a huge disadvantage. Those that know he doesn't have a fucking shot. Then at the very least, let him wear the fucking gloves of his choosing, okay? At the very fucking least. That's all I got to say. No, but DStyle, No, D-Style. Let's screw him over. So it's an easier fight for Floyd. Fuck that. Are you kidding me? We don't gotta. Floyd's not in a position to be tilting shit to his favor. It's already a boxing fight. Like, it's already in his favor. All right? I mean, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, let's go over these comments really quick. Looks like I got quite a few to go over. SHRHNS. I don't even know. I'm just going to call you Shrins, okay? What's up, D-Style? What's up, bro? Nice to have you back. I'm glad to be here. I am sick and tired of these pathetic breakdowns, man. These people don't even know combat sports. I agree. Connor Bless says, McGregor will have his arms out, waiting for Mayweather to strike, and he'll counter hard. Right, bro? Like, if you're gonna troll, at least be a little more discreet about it, bro. Right? Christopher Tom, what up, D-Style? What's up, bro? Shren says, I don't think so, dude. I guess response to Connor Bless. I'm gonna skip Connor Bless's comments here. Shren says Mayweather's way too experienced to fall into something stupid like that. The range is different in MMA. I definitely agree. Somebody told this dude to go learn English. To Connor Bless, I agree. Jesse Viveros. I hate when motherfuckers say boxing's dead. LOL. Get the fuck out of here, idiots. There you go. The biggest fight in the UFC history is in a boxing ring. Well, you could say that again. Connor Bless is just trolling, man. I swear to God. Christopher Tom, D-Style, thanks, man, in particular for this series, along with the Rocky series. LOL. I'm actually going to do a Rocky video after this, ironically enough. Then this is like medicine for me, man. Detox. All this shitty conversations, real life, with my friends, UFC fans. Somebody had to do this in the boxing community. We appreciate this. Thanks again, brother. I came here to flush all the rage I have due to BS I hear regarding this event with my friends. Jeez, bro. Jesus Christ. Well, what is this? I feel like we're like Alcoholics Anonymous or shit. Like Mayweather, McGregor Anonymous. Like, here we are. Like, somebody's telling me to block Connor Bless. I don't know how to block, to be honest. And I'm looking at this from my phone, so I don't think my phone has that feature. All right. Christopher Tom, I left you a comment on your Barrera Morales stories video, man. Check out if you have the time. I will check it out. Connor, getting stopped easy work, says G Funky 84. What's up, G Funk? Shren says, D-Style, I promote you to Sherdog. I will keep doing it. You are worth it, man. Your analysis is pretty sick. Promote me on Sherdog. Sherdog.com. All right. That's an MMA website, right? Man in Water says Connor has self-belief, though. Yes, he does. Right? The boxing office says, I'm here. What's up? You have any questions, or are you just going to say you're here? All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm dying to hear what you guys are hearing from casual fans. What are casual fans telling you? By the way, share my videos with casual fans. They need to hear a lot of this stuff. They got to hear it. Nobody tells it. And it's not just me. There's plenty of boxing channels on here that have talked about this fight, and they keep it real. All right. Many of them are not devoting as much time as I am. Okay, and that's good because this shit's it's frustrating. But it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it, and I can't wait. That's all I gotta say. All right. I went through like a change. I had a change of heart of this fight. And when this fight was first announced or was being talked about, I mean, I was shitting all over the fight. And now my opinion, again, about it being a circus fight hasn't changed, okay? What I believe is going to happen has not changed. That has not changed whatsoever. But after seeing I've been watching boxing, okay, for my whole life practically, right? I have never heard so many people be so ignorant about a fight. Ever. You know, when Pacquiao fans said Pacquiao has a puncher's chance, he actually did. Like, you know, it's not like I disagreed with them that Pacquiao was going to beat Mayweather, but it's Pacquiao had a decent, like when they say a decent shot to win, he did. And I knew that, even though I talk shit for fun, because that's what boxing's all about, okay? But I knew that. But people are like giving Conor the same shot to win that they were giving Manny Pacquiao. I mean, this is fucking insane. This is mind blowing to me. It's very, very mind blowing. The boxing office, Floyd's going to go get killed due to exhaustion. How many rounds do you give Conor? Do you think his athletes is going to help at his athletic ability? I think you're saying. Does it say Floyd Mayweather Jr. is going to get killed due to exhaustion? Do me a favor, bro. Right? Go watch as many Mayweather fights as you want. As many as you want. Okay? Find me one in-between round. One. Where Mayweather Jr. looks like he's out of breath, or he's like you know, his corner's trying to wake him up, or you know, he's just out of it, or he's not. Find me one instant, and then come back to me. All right, cool. I'm glad. And I was also thinking, was that something somebody told you? Like, put in quotation. If it's something somebody told you, put it in quotations, please. All right. So I'm just saying. All right. G Funky 84, but Conor hits hard, bro. That's what I keep hearing from UFC fans. Yeah, he hits. Ooh, he hits hard. Like, you know, it's look at the highest level in boxing. You know, if all you have is power, like then you literally have nothing. Okay, I mean that's just a reality. It's you can't just win with one thing at the highest level. Okay, it doesn't work that way, and you can't win consistently like Floyd has if you just have that one thing. Okay, it's if you just have power, you have to have something else, right? If you're tough, like that's not good enough. Like, you know, if you have self-belief, like that's not good enough, right? Does anyone think that? You don't think Arturo Gatti had self-belief? Look at the wars that Arturo Gatti was in. Look at Arturo Gatti went through hell and back with Mickey Ward in their fights. Okay, to hell and back. Got up from a vicious, you know, hook to the body. Okay, I believe it was a left hook to the body by Mickey Ward. Could have been a right hook, but I'm not sure. I believe it was a left hook. And he got back up. And, you know, and they did documentaries about that. Oh, the heart, the will. You don't think Gotti had self-belief? The guy had no quit in him, right? Well, did it matter when Floyd was putting hands on him? Did it matter? Did all his self-belief matter then? No, it didn't matter. It didn't fucking matter. Him being tough, did it matter? No. Well, Gotti hits hard. Well, he did hit hard. Did it matter? No. It didn't matter, right? It literally didn't matter. It was irrelevant. Let's see, what else do we got? The boxing office. It won't be that hard to knock Conor down for good if he's already completely exhausted. Mayweather, that was a legendary beating, referring to Gotti versus Mayweather. Now, I will admit, and boxing fans have known this forever, but that's not Mayweather anymore. Like that's that version of Mayweather, right? Would have murdered Conor McGregor, right, in one round. He would have murdered him, right? He would have hurt him bad. Okay. This version of Mayweather, I believe it's going to take him a couple rounds, right? It's, you know, but it's going to take him some time. But this I will say, I think he's going to make Mayweather look like he's 10 years younger, right? Like he's going to make Mayweather look that way. Like everybody's going to be like, wow, Floyd. I mean, he looked amazing. Like he's going to make Mayweather look like he could go in there and beat Gennady Golovkin, right? After Mayweather's done with McGregor, everybody's going to be saying, oh, he's right. He could fight Golovkin now, right? Now, do I believe he could fight Golovkin? Yes. Okay, but I don't know if he'd be the favorite at this point of his career, but that's in a whole nother discussion, right? Especially the fight at 160. If Golovkin comes out to 154, well, that's a little bit of a different story, right? A little bit of a different story, but yeah. Let McGregor wear his fucking gloves. I don't want to hear, like, you know what I don't want to hear? I don't want to hear, well, McGregor, like, let's say McGregor does land a punch, right? I don't want to hear, you know, like, oh, he would have knocked him out if Mayweather didn't make him wear those big pillows. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I don't want to hear, right? I don't want to hear that. I don't care about that. Give him no fucking excuses, all right? The big, like, fucking Skip Bayless, man. I tripped with that guy. The big pillows. Floyd couldn't knock me out. Chief Funk 84. I think it's gonna be the body shots that put Conor away. Body worker Floyd, yeah. Floyd, first of all, has a brilliant jab to the body, right? That jab to the body takes about 2-3 rounds later for the fighters to really start feeling the effect. Like, I think a lot of times what happens with Floyd Mayweather opponents is he shoots that, and I'm just talking specifically just a jab here. He hits him with a jab, and at first they oblige. Like, it's, you know, like Robert Guerrero was taking it to the body early in the early rounds, and then all of a sudden their reactions to that jab to the body, or even when Floyd would just kind of feint to like he's going to throw a jab to the body, all of a sudden their demeanor just changes, right? Because they start feeling that. You know, it's all of a sudden, you know, it's not like, you know, it's like that one punch to the body ain't gonna, it's, you know, a professional boxer can take that, you know, but 2-3 rounds later, when you're like, wow, why does it hurt down there? Well, why am I so tired? Like, what the fuck's going on? So I think that's what's gonna get Conor. I honestly believe in the first round, Conor's going to be like, oh, they don't even hurt. He's going to be kind of, you know, like he's not hurt, and he's probably going to get hit with a jab to the body, and he's going to, like, do a gesture like what the fuck is that, or something like that. I do believe Conor's going to do that in the first round. Whether it's playing with Floyd's head or whether he thinks these punches are not going to affect him 2-3 rounds later, right? It's a whole nother story. But it's I agree. I think he's going to get exhausted. I think he's going to be in the middle of that ring. First of all, mentally exhausted because he can't land clean, right? He can't land anything of significance on Floyd, and Floyd's peppering the shit out of him, right? And number two, wondering why the fuck he's so tired. Okay, he's going to be like, well, why am I so tired? What the fuck is this? Right? I think he's going to be confused. He's not going to understand why he's tired, why he's slowing down, and the punches aren't going to stop. He ain't going to be able to hit Floyd, and that is a terrifying feeling. Okay? It's a terrifying feeling when you're getting hit, you can't hit the other guy, and you're just getting more and more tired. And what happens? Okay, he's already has limited boxing experience as it is. As it is. Now, just imagine as he's getting exhausted, even guys who've been boxing their whole life start making mistakes. Okay? He's going to start making mistakes early and often. Okay? And he's not going to be able to stop, you know, the storm of punches. And it's not going to be a good night for Conor, right? And the fact that Floyd Mayweather is not a big monster puncher, in the end, is probably not the best thing, right? Because he's going to be taking more punches than he would have if he was fighting like a Golovkin. Golovkin would put him down early. Okay, probably knock him out or TKO him early, and he would get back up. Floyd is going to be a cumulative amount of punches. Okay, he's gonna start feeling exhausted. The jab by Floyd will be landing. Okay, it's gonna put a strain on the back of Conor's neck like he's never felt before. Like Conor's never been in a pro fight like that. Okay, ever. He's been in MMA fights, but you're not getting constantly punched like that in an MMA fight, right? You're not constantly having your neck snapping back, snapping back, snapping back. It's a whole nother ballgame, right? Literally, well, not literally, but figuratively speaking, actually. Let's read some more comments. The boxing office, Conor does not have boxing power. That's what people don't understand. Which boxing gloves do you have to get under the punchers and hit with the knuckles? The boxing office, G Funky, boxing, yeah, MMA fighters don't really practice throwing or blocking body punches, especially in the phone booth on the inside. They don't really know much about that. Somebody said Conor's going to piss blood. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to feel how, if he's going to be talking about how much of a pillow fight that was when he's pissing blood. The boxing office asked, does Conor have anything to lose? Anything. Well, first of all, look, if we keep it real, the guy's going to make a lot of money. It's number one. He's going to make a lot of money, right? He's going to be the second richest athlete of the year, behind only Mayweather, okay, this year, when it's all said and done. Okay, that is an accomplishment in its own. If he loses, they're already saying stuff that losers say, right? He's not talking about how he's going to – I mean, he is saying he's going to beat Floyd, but listen to the people that they're already doing damage control. It's already happening, okay? Every single time they talk about this fight, every single time, they have to throw in – and this was an MMA fight. Oh, my God, it would be over in 10 seconds. It was an MMA fight. Conor's got nothing to lose. If he loses, so what? Floyd can't beat him in a real fight. That's just the stuff that they're saying, okay? It is going to be their alibi. That's going to be their scapegoat. That's going to be their excuse, their way out. That right there. They're already getting that ready. Dana White's saying that. Conor can't stop saying that. They're calling it a half of a fight, and it's not a real fight. They're already saying all this. Why? Because when he loses, they're going to say, well, Conor lost, but, it's not like it was a real fight. Now he's going to go back to the UFC and do some real fighting, right? That's the way losers talk, okay? Like if I'm just saying, right? At the end of the day, like it's they're already doing damage control. So does he have much to lose? I will say this. I mean, what if he breaks an orbital bone? What if Floyd, and this is this is a possibility, right? What if he gets some ugly gashes and cuts, right, on over his eyebrows, and the cut gets really bad, and then before you know it, that causes scarring, and that could follow him for the rest of his MMA career. Okay, so this isn't a game, So yeah, I mean, could he be hurt? I think physically, I don't know if you count that as something to lose, but he can get hurt in this fight. Like he can get seriously hurt. This shit ain't a game, Like it's like I know everybody, including the Joe Rogan, is saying, "Well, he's got nothing to lose. It's not like Floyd's gonna, really punish him like that." And they're kind of banking on the whole Floyd's just gonna pot shot him for 12 rounds and win a unanimous decision. But Floyd doesn't have many Pacquiao in front of him here. Okay, it's not like he has a world-class boxer in front of him. And I don't think that's people understand that. They're failing to understand that. Now, for the people saying he doesn't have, let me tell you this, okay? There's a thing called leaked information. Now, apparently Paulie Malignaggi, right, and Conor McGregor went at it for, I believe they said 8 rounds. Okay, they went at it for 8 rounds. Joe Cortez apparently was an eyewitness of this. And he said that both guys are really going at it, right? Let me tell you something. And I said this on my last video already, but let me just say it again. If this was Canelo Alvarez, let's say it was a rematch against Floyd, and we heard as boxing fans that Paulie Malignaggi, a retired, out-of-shape Paulie Malignaggi, was Canelo's sparring partner, and that they went at it hard for 8 rounds, right? Like, we all know the first thing will come through our minds. First of all, we would be saying, really, Canelo, Paulie Malignaggi to prepare for Floyd? Forget style and all that, but this is not a prime Malignaggi or anything like that. It's number one. Number two, like, you went at it competitively with Paulie Malignaggi when he hasn't sparred in who knows how long. Okay, he's been retired. His last fight, he got fucking knocked out. Okay, by some English guy, I think. Right in the 3rd round. Canelo's having competitive sparrings with fucking Paulie Malignaggi. Couldn't knock him out. He couldn't hurt him. Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, that's what everybody would be saying. But because Conor, this is how low the bar is. Because Conor is having, allegedly, by the way, Paulie keeps saying, look, I can't reveal too much, guys. I signed a no disclose form, yada, 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 right? But he's already revealed a couple things, though. It's like, I don't want to say too much, but he's already said that Conor, he hits above average. He hits above average. I mean, if he hits you, he could hurt you. If he hits you, he could hurt you. But he doesn't have wild power, right? Now, first of all, if I was a promoter of this fight, I would be telling Paulie Malignaggi, you work for Showtime, shut the fuck up. You tell everybody that Conor whooped your ass, okay? Solid fucking fight. That's what I would be saying. but I'm just keeping it real. After the fight, tell everybody the truth. Right now, you tell everybody who's whooping your ass, okay? Or don't say anything. How about that? In fact, pitch your head against that fucking wall. All right? Get a fucking gash. It's how everybody, the power of Conor McGregor fucking cut you right through the fucking head in the headgear. All right? It fucked you up. There's no way. All right? If we want people to believe Conor McGregor's going to knock out Mayweather, that he's having competitive sparring sessions with a fucking retired, out of shape boxer. Okay? Now, I'll admit this, right? If it's true that Conor McGregor had competitive sparring sessions, okay, with Paulie, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm impressed. I really am. Even though, this is not a prime Malignaggi, even though he's retired, even though he self-admittedly was out of shape, okay, and has to get back in any type of shape. He's not in boxing shape, right? Even with all that said, the fact that in Paulie, even though we consider him a weakling champion and a B, C level fighter, even with all that said, I'm impressed. I honestly am, right? For an MMA guy with no boxing experience to have competitive sparring sessions with a retired fat Paulie Malignaggi, it's impressive to me, okay? But at the end of the day, even though that's impressive, he's far from the mark to beat Floyd, right? Floyd's not out of shape. Floyd didn't just get knocked out in the 3rd round by some fucking, some English dude and shit. All right, Paulie, he got dominated by Porter. I mean, dominated by Porter. I mean, and this was years ago. So I don't think Porter could beat Mayweather. I think Mayweather easily outboxes the guy. Like, to put it in perspective for you. Okay, that dude that knocked out Conor, that knocked out Malignaggi in the 3rd round, right? That guy don't stand a shot against Floyd. So the fact that, Conor fans are celebrating, yeah, look, it's impressive that he had a competitive sparring session, allegedly, with Malinash. Okay, I still don't even think it was competitive, to be honest with you, right? But let's say it is. You know, it could have been. We'll find out after the fight. We're gonna find out, right? I think Paulie knows that. Okay, that's why Paulie doesn't want to make a fool out of himself. He doesn't want to say McGregor was unbelievable and that we all know what's going to happen to him against Floyd. He's going to make him look stupid. He's thinking about his reputation, right? So he's saying as much as he can to sound like a team player, like Conor is serious. Like, notice the things Paulie says. He says things like Conor's really serious about this. Conor believes in himself. You know, Conor, he's awkward. He's not. He doesn't move like a boxer. He's awkward, but there's a method to his madness, and you know he knows what he's doing there. He knows what he wants to do, and like listen to what he's saying, right? Just listen to all the things that Paulie's saying. Like, listen carefully to what he says. And when you listen to Joe Cortez, right, it's like, oh, was Paulie getting the best of them? Oh, they were both going at it. They were trash talking a lot, and I had to break it up because it was getting rough in there. You know, it's. I'm just saying, okay. So let's put that in perspective, right? So is it impressive for an MMA fighter to have a competitive sparring session with a, you know, retired boxer, right, way out of his prime? Of course, that's impressive, right? It is. But it's still leaps and bounds, you know, far from beating Mayweather. Like it's a whole nother stratosphere. You know, it's so far away. If any elite, like right now, nobody would use Paulie as a sparring partner. If Errol Spence, you know, was his next fight, right? He's not gonna get Paulie Malignaggi to be his fucking sparring partner. Okay? You think like Errol Spence is gonna fight fucking if he fights Keith Thurman, right? You think he's gonna hire Paulie Malignaggi to be his sparring partner? Everybody would be like, "Why the fuck are you hiring him?" Right? I'm just saying. All right, let's read some more comments here. Who in top boxing do you think Conor might have a chance with? Look, how would if Conor made a proper transition to boxing? Okay, if he made a proper transition, is it possible, especially with all the belts out there, that he could win a world title? Is it possible? Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know. Right? Right? It's you know, it's possible, I guess, but it would take a while for him to make that transition, and he's not going to make that transition like that. Okay, but he's not just going to jump from MMA to boxing and just win a world title like that. But if he made a transition and dedicated himself to just boxing, is it possible? Maybe, right? But right now, do I give him a shot against Errol Spence and Keith Thurman and hell, Danny Garcia? Do I give him a shot against, you know, Andrade or Arislan Lara? Or do I give him a shot against the Charlo brothers, against Gennady Golovkin, against Canelo? No, I don't give him a shot at all. Right? I don't give him a shot whatsoever. But that's just, you know, I'll leave it at that. Okay, but who he could beat in top, I don't know. Could Conor beat a top 20 contender? Maybe. Like, you know, I don't know. I just don't know. All right. If you would have asked me, can Mike Perry, a top contender in the UFC, you know, beat a top 50 boxer, I would have said probably. But he lost to a guy ranked 150th in the world. So you know, it's just one of those things. All right, someone says, that's exactly what I would tell Paulie to say. Yeah. What the fuck is Paulie doing? He works for Showtime. I'll be telling everybody whoop my ass. Like, I would be, honestly, I would be like, Conor, but pay up, you know, I would tell Showtime, pay up $100,000. Give me $100,000. I'll tell everybody whoop my fucking ass. Right? Give me $200,000, okay? I'll lay on the fucking mat so he could take a picture and he could put all over social media that he knocked me out. Give me $1 million, all right, and I'll fucking you know, we could pay off a doctor's just saying that I was in a fucking coma for 3 days. Okay, I'll fucking lay in that bed for 3 days for $1 million. Okay, if I was Paulie, that's what I would do. And after the fight, I would say it was all bullshit. Fuck it. All right, Leonard Albee put, do you think Conor has improved since his sparring with Chris Van Heerden? He looked terrible in those videos. Yes, he did. He looked terrible. When they released the edited version, it looked like he was getting the best of him. But then, as everybody knows the story, I hope, right? Conor's team released an edited version of that sparring session. And everybody's like, wow, Conor, he's looking good against, you know, an elite, you know, they were saying an elite pro boxer, right? No offense to Van Heerden, but, you know, I wouldn't consider him an elite boxer. You know, it depends what you mean by elite, right? But still, you know, he's a decent pro. He's pretty good, and I think he has more to prove still. But anyway, I know he wants to fight. He called out Amon Peterson the last time I heard about that guy. But yeah, he released the whole fucking video, right? He released the whole thing. He's like, well, fuck that. He released the whole fucking thing. And then we saw the truth, right? Yeah, Conor didn't look so good, right? There was, and everybody will say, well, Conor's not a boxer. You know, people are judging him like if he's a boxer. What does that fucking mean? If you're getting outboxed and your only answer is, well, he's not a boxer. Well, well, he's boxing. Like, you know, it's like you're playing one-on-one with somebody on basketball. They keep dunking it on you, right? They keep like shooting, like, you know, fucking fadeaways on your ass, and you can't stop them, right? Hey, what happened, man? He beat you. You were playing 21. He beat you 21-4. Well, you know, I'm not a basketball player. You know, I don't move like a basketball player. Yeah, but it's 21-4. Like, man and water. Paulie versus Porter is a real example of what happens when you have no respect for your opponent's power. Yeah, very true. All right. Shunt says Conor's way bigger, quote unquote. Conor's way bigger, longer, and rangy. Nobody else had that much reach on him. I think Conor's height and frame is very similar to Diego Corrales. Right? I think Conor has longer legs than Corrales. Corrales had a longer torso, but still, it was the same kind of height and arm length. I think they had the same. I don't know about the arm length, but I know they have the same. They have the same reach, right? So I mean, and the ironic part about that is that was at fucking 130, at 130 pounds, right? And then of course you had De La Hoya. De La Hoya had a slight reach advantage over Mayweather. So you know it's. And ironically, I don't care what anybody says. I think he had an easy time with De La Hoya, and he destroyed Corrales. So, and I believe, you know, Floyd is used to guys with like fighting guys like Manny Pacquiao and guys with that punch quick and they have a quick, I guess you call it like a release. Okay, like pop, they hit you and their hands are literally right back. Okay. Conor, it's just he's not that fast. He has fast hands, okay, but he has long limbs. So when Conor throws a punch, right, because of his long arms, all right, it takes a while for him to bring that punch back, all right. And that's one of the reasons. Even though he knocked out freaking what's his name, Aldo, he still got hit. If you notice, right? He didn't have the reflexes to hit him and duck, like, you know what I mean, and avoid that punch. He didn't have those reflexes. So I don't think he's as quickly and reactionary, you know, as people think. I don't think his reactions are as fast as people think it is. Conor's fast reflexes. I just talked about that. Somebody says he uses visualization to win. All right. Quote unquote, Conor will wait for Floyd to overextend. What, like Aldo did? Like with his chin in the air or something like that? You know? Is that what he's going to do? You know, come on, man. Right? Oh, didn't Danny Garcia put a beating on Malnaji? If I'm not mistaken. Did they fight? I don't know why I thought about that fight, but the boxing office, the Canelo and GGG fight is going to identical to GGG versus Gabriel Rosado. I promise you. I think Canelo's a whole nother level to Gabriel Rosado, bro. Okay, I think it's not going to be as easy for Canelo, Gennady Golovkin, early that is, to hit Canelo. But I can't wait for this Floyd McGregor shit to end, man. So everybody can start talking about this fight right here, right? Because this is the fight that everybody should be talking about right now, but they're not, right? They're talking about that other fight that I've been talking about. Anyway, guys, this has been fun. You know, Mayweather put Canelo 117, 111 against Gennady Golovkin. It's a wide scorecard. I think it's going to be a war, to be honest, but I think it's going to be a fucking war. No choice about it. It's going to be interesting, but we'll see. He said, yep, he's confident. Canelo's going to win 117, 111. If Canelo does that, I'll be fucking impressed. Okay. Like I'm close to picking Canelo, but not like that. Right? That's a bold ass prediction, right? I don't know about that. All right, so I'm gonna be doing a Rocky video tomorrow. I already have a Rocky series out, by the way, but I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna do a hangout, and I'm gonna talk about all the Rocky movies. You know, I don't even know how long it's gonna be, but tomorrow night I'm gonna do a Rocky hangout, and I'm gonna talk about all the fights, or not the fights, all the movies. Just kind of recap through all of them. Just because I love to clown on that movie, man, or that series. Ironically, I'm a fan of the movies. Like I own the movies, you know, like I have the Blu-rays and all, but I still, it's a part of me still likes to clown it. Like it's insane. A lot of the stuff in Rocky and all that, but I'll be doing that tomorrow, and hopefully you guys can join me in the chat when I talk about that. All right. Somebody put, Man and Water, where do you buy your heroin from? Referring to the Canelo 117, 111 scorecard. Man and Water, I agree with you that it's going to be close, but I think the judges are going to have it wide. Well, it's possible. I mean, it is possible to win 6 close rounds, but all 6 rounds go to you. It's possible, right? But we'll see. I don't know. You know, what's funny is if Golovkin wins by decision, like it's like one judge is going to have it for Canelo. Like it's like one judge is going to CJ Ross it. Like it's going to happen. At least one fucking judge. Like I have that feeling like it's going to happen. All right. Oh, here's another one. Before I go, Mayweather has troubles with southpaws. And Conor McGregor is a southpaw. Yeah. All right. Since when? Since the first few rounds of the Judah fight? Since when? Like this whole southpaw thing is insane, man. But anyway, this is DStyleBoxing. Do they not know that it was Orthodox that gave Floyd like really, really tough problems? Okay. But what are you gonna do? I'm out.